Good evening and welcome back, poetry lovers. It is I, ZM Wise, and here I am with another home recording just for you. This book review is going to be on none other than right here in the paper flesh, the collected works of Jim Morrison. Poetry, journals, transcripts, lyrics, and much more. What most of you probably do know is that Jim Morrison was the lead vocalist for The Doors, a group that began in the late 60s and went on to become one of the greatest groups on earth. Unfortunately, he passed away in 1971 at the tender age of 27. The Doors released a couple albums under their name without Jim, but by then most people preferred the work with him, of course. What quite a few of you probably didn't know is that besides being the chief lyricist and composer for The Doors, he was also one of the most gifted, versatile, and articulate writers known to humanity. He mostly dealt in poetry, and many of the 50-something songs that Morrison recorded with The Doors were lyrical phoenixes that sprung up from the ashes of his poetic writings in his copious amounts of notebooks. And as many of you have probably read in some of his posthumous writings, you could see that certain lines, certain stanzas, even certain themes that were revisited time and time again influenced quite a few of his songs. He was inspired by many a source, such as William Blake, Rimbaud, Nietzsche, Native American mythology, Greek mythology, blues music, Los Angeles, and so much more. And this is the definitive anthology of his work, and included are the entire contents from his 3 books that were released during his lifetime: The Lords, The New Creatures, and American Prayer. The former 2 were culled from notebooks, mostly had untitled pieces, a lot of them very prosaic, but a lot of them did become poetry, and American Prayer, pure poetry. And that served as material for the album that was produced by the remaining Doors, and they included his original spoken word recordings and added music. Quite the fascinating experiment. So, besides those are the complete published and unpublished lyrics, the contents from his posthumous writings from the 2 books that were released called Wilderness and The American Night, and a wealth of poems and pieces of prose from his notebooks. And there's also the complete shooting script, film treatment from his film that he wrote called Highway, or just titled in all capital letters HWY. There were notebooks kept during his Miami trial. The Paris Journal, which was most likely his last notebook ever written. And let's see, did I miss anything in here? What did I miss? Yes, of course. How could I forget? The transcript, rare photographs, and production notes from Morrison's last poetry recording, which is available on Harper Audio. And yes, a poetic epilogue called As I Look Back, compelling autobiography in poem form. And it really does speak the truth. So, the contents, like the complete lyrics of Jimi Hendrix and many other books, like So This Is Permanence by Ian Curtis, it also includes photo facsimiles of his actual handwritten pieces. I'll show you a prime example. Boom! There's one on the back too, The American Night. I remember he titled a few pieces called The American Night and just wrote them in different forms. More importantly, Morrison was one of quite a few poets who influenced a lot of my early work and some of my current work as well, especially with how he is an experimental free verse. He is all over the place with his writing. It's just fascinating. So I will just read you a few little pieces here. Humanity begins where the empire ended. Swear to goodness. People who say he's overrated, not trying to start any debates here, but in my opinion, that's dead wrong. To me, he's one of the most underrated poets known to humanity, truly. Let's see. Okay. And gentlemen of doubt, shout your warnings to the women of Crete, who have no need for meat, sweet, sacred meat. Come out and eat. Just absolutely fascinating. Yes. There was one that really captured my attention before. In the womb, we are blind cave fish. This is from the Lord's Notes on Vision. Here it is. A ship leaves port, mean horse of another thicket, wishbone of desire, decry the metal fox. Just publicly denouncing that metal fox, my goodness. Yeah, so you will not be sorry once you get your hands on this. And this was a birthday gift given to me by my best friend. And my birthday was 2 days ago, and that was also the release date for this book. Publication date was June 8th. And I couldn't think of anything more serendipitous than that, truly. So, get yours today, Jim Morrison, Collected Works. If you haven't already taken a look at his written work, it's easily accessible online as far as excerpts are concerned. But trust me when I say, you're going to want all of it right here. So, it's been a genuine pleasure reviewing this book. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Get yours today. Poetry lives, long live the arts, and long live Jim Morrison.